welcome back to A Talk Stories, where forbidden maps and daring adventures come to life. Join eccentric explorer Quincy Arfoir and his steadfast companion Ordo as they defy the corrupt Cartographers Guild and the iron grip of the Archive. In a world where exploration is outlawed and the unknown is locked away, one stolen map points to the impossible, the end of the world. And what lies beyond? Buckle up, this is where the real journey begins. The alley reeked of roasted meat and menace. The Archive Judicators, in teal and black coats, loomed over Quincy Arfoir, the wild-haired explorer already on his knees from a pair of brutal punches to the gut and ribs. The lead judge, square hat tilted just so, leaned in with a patient, sadistic smile. Hand over the map, Quincy. Make this easy on yourself, friend. At once, with an almost inhuman walking speed, Quincy stomped up the cobblestone steps of the Cartographers Guild, shoved open their oak wood doors, and ignored the receptionist when she asked if he needed assistance. His head of wild, bushy hair was unkept, as if he'd woken up and gone to the guild straight away. He still wore his canvas longcoat and travel trousers, but didn't manage to lace his boots. With another shove of the second pair of doors, he stomped into the Guildmaster's office and stopped abruptly right in front of his desk. The Guildmaster adjusted his spectacles and sighed. "Mr. Arfoir, nice to see you at this early hour." "Don't take that jovial tone with me," Quincy growled. "You denied funding my expedition. Again!" "Yes," came the Guildmaster's reply, pouring himself a glass of whiskey before taking a small gulp. "And the Guild will continue to do so. As I've advised many times, Mr. Arfoir, the Guild's funding is reserved for Guild affairs or such affairs of top import. Your expedition—" "My expedition," Quincy interrupted, "is of top import. With a modest airship and a small crew, I have the expertise and the mappage to explore beyond the end of the world. Just think of the possibilities, Guildmaster. Think of how it was in the way back when all we knew of was the old continent. Brave, intrepid sailors discovered the new continent, and on it founded the new city of Enham. To think we'd still be stuck with crummy old Enham otherwise. Brave, intrepid sailors discovered the new continent, and on it founded the city of New Enham. To think we'd still be stuck with crummy old Enham otherwise." "Oh, this again. This stomping ground, guild property, and busting into my office during my morning drink is about that old topic. Look, travel beyond the end of the world is not only dangerous, it's very illegal. It's only illegal because you all have lobbied the government into making it so. You've all tried to monopolize all avenues of exploration, from making the manufacture and sale of private party maps illegal to the confiscation of any relics to airship permits. You've also started going after balloons. Balloons, for goodness sake!" The Guildmaster raised his hand. He'd not get a reply in edgewise at this time. "Mr. Arfoir, air travel is dangerous. Even private balloons are dangerous. Don't think that because they travel slower, that isn't the case. Our permits have only increased safety practices and awareness of such things, while ensuring that only the best put on a long coat and take up the adventuring lifestyle. It is a calling that many never receive, and even less are fit to answer." "Which is all rubbish. The Cartographers Guild was only seeking to deepen its pockets while curbing competition. This was an open secret. Any organizations that popped up were swiftly cut down. Only the International Society of Adventuring and Exploration managed to stand tall, after all the lobbying and legislation done to destroy the organization. Even then, it was mostly due to them being international and thus having a weird jurisdictional status that made direct legislation against them illegal. Still, those of the society still found it hard to stay true to their namesake. The recent airship permit saw to that." Quincy folded his arms. "This simply won't do. I'll have none of it," he cried. "These days, it is a blue moon when any guildsmen actually go on an expedition and survey. When was the last time you sent a team to map more of the new continent? We only have one known settlement there, and that's New Enham. private explorers have to spend coin to put on a coat and tell civilization what's out there. If they live long enough to do so, of course. You all see it fit to sit back here and wait for relics to be found so you could snatch them from these intrepid heroes' hands. The Guildmaster sighed. None of what Quincy said was a lie, and moreover, the guild liked it that way. Relics, in some cases, could make or break careers. There have been some explorers who managed to retire and ascend into nobility from relics found in ruins or labyrinths. Rulers of nations have spent great sums of coin to employ their own private teams to uncover them. But, of course, relic salvage was yet another illegal activity, thanks in part to the Cartographers Guild. It was only when a private explorer found a particular interesting relic and was willing to part with it that they looked the other way. And to think royal families were willing to play ball with these people, Quincy had to scoff at that. Now, if your weekly temper tantrum has concluded, the Guildmaster said, taking another swig of whiskey, I suspect that will be all, and you may show yourself the door. Quincy, with a shake of his head, did just that. Can you believe it, Ordo? Quincy, now sitting in a tavern, asked his fellow explorer. This guild, they have allowed coin and control to cloud their mind until they've become the very thing they were created to combat. It's as if they hate knowledge, adventure, and the unknown. This isn't the guild I remember being a part of. Ordo's dark-skinned face betrayed no signs of a feeling one way or the other regarding the guild. He, like most people in Enham, consigned themselves to their fate of having curiosity sucked out of them piece by piece. With each of the new laws drafted, with each new freedom swiped from them, it became easier to roll over and accept the guild's regulation of travel. Yes, my friend, he finally replied after a long silence. But what can one do? Perhaps it is time to let the guild take over. Change is part of life. Never, came Quincy's reply. Not while I still draw breath, Ordo. You didn't even know what I was proposing that was denied funding anyway. Ordo rolled his eyes. No, but you will tell me. Indeed I will. Quincy fumbled around in his beige coat pocket to reveal a folded sheet of paper that had clearly seen better days. He hunched forward, and Ordo instinctively did the same. Look, Ordo, a rudimentary map that shows an approximate location for the end of the world. It's somewhere on the new continent. Ordo's eyes widened. Where, my friend, did you come by this? Quincy put a finger to his lips. A gentleman explorer never reveals his secrets, but I will reveal my intent. To go there and beyond it, if possible. A smirk painted itself on Quincy's face, the combination of a smirk and his wild hair making him look like a madman. To Ordo, that wasn't too far from the mark in this instance. If you lost all sense to go that far, you'd need at the very least an airship, something you were unable to come by given your first one was taken. You're right, I do need an airship. I have that settled, my ebony friend. A modest size, so as to avoid guild aerosonar. We may be tight on supplies, but with hiring the right crew, everyone can wear more than one hat, if you catch my drift. I have navigational skills, you're a damned good marksman. Before Ordo could respond, a trio of men wearing teal and black uniforms entered the tavern. The lead one wore a square hat that matched the rest of his clothing. Judicators, he whispered and gestured to Quincy's left. Quincy snapped his head to his left and peered, wishing he could shrink himself to the size of a mouse. Here we go. The lead judicator whispered something to his companions, who glared at Quincy and began making their way to him. Quincy Arfoire, the lead one said when they finally made it to his table. Gentleman explorer, chance meeting you in a place like this. Fancy indeed, Lord Judge. Care for a drink? My treat. The judicator waved a hand dismissively. Oh no, I'm on duty, you see, and in public. I'll have to indulge some other time. Of course, came Quincy's reply. It's a funny thing, that. Duty, I mean. Something that is required to do to one's job. Tell me, Quincy, what do you think my job entails? He feigned ignorance, then thought for a moment. To enforce the policy set by the High Lord of Enham? Would be my guess. Indeed, the judicator mused. One such policy is the apprehension of thieves. Theft is a very serious offense, I'm sure you understand. Quincy, beginning to sweat, merely nodded. Bordeaux looked back and forth between both Quincy and the adjudicator before a look of realization covered his face. He picked up his empty glass and pretended to drink from it to hide his expression. Especially, he went on, when it comes to knowledge. Knowledge is power, in any form. Books, records, why, even maps, I'd reckon. Would you not agree, Quincy? Again, he nodded. Splendid. So... He paused to lean back in his chair. The two other adjudicators revealed weapons hidden inside their teal and black coats. Why don't you accompany me outside, where we can discuss the duties of my station in private? Seeing no option, Quincy pretended to choose to agree. Why, I'd be delighted. Lead the way, Lord Judge. With that, the three adjudicators stood and headed for the exit, not looking back to see if Quincy was coming or not. He would be, either on his own two legs or not on his own two legs. Bordeaux leaned toward Quincy as they walked. You wild fool! Don't tell me that map was stolen by the bloody archive! Quincy shrugged. Okay, I won't tell you that then. This is no joke, Bordeaux hissed. This is the archive! The ones who grounded a rogue traveler's airship just to serve a minor warrant for collection. Remember that? Yes, Ordo, I remember. I also remember a time when the archive actually collected information to ensure its integrity rather than lock it behind coin as they do now. Do you remember? It seems memory escapes you at this moment. Ordo recoiled. What's that meant to mean? I've followed you to the Breaking Hollows, the Radiant Garden, the Farnham's Point, and back. Bordeaux, you have indeed been a friend upon which I've come to thoroughly rely. This time is no different. The Archive are just like the Guild, men who overstep their station and think themselves kings. I need your trust, just as I did over the years we've traveled. I will sort this out, don't worry. Bordeaux nodded. The two men stopped right behind the adjudicators, who had brought them to the semi-lit alley on the other side of the tavern. Its bricked walls sent distorted sounds of merriment from within, and the scent of cooking meats had followed the men outside, as if to take a seat in the audience for the discourse to come. Let's make this quick, the lead adjudicator began. Hand over the map, and you both go free. I pretend this never happened. No one will think a washed-up, eccentric explorer as yourself could manage to steal from the library. Bordeaux snapped his head in Quincy's direction. The library? He mouthed. Quincy merely shrugged. I haven't a clue what you mean, your lordship. Ownership of a map would be illegal for anyone not of the guild or an approved scholar noble. Why, oof! A fist shot into Quincy's stomach and the white-haired eccentric doubled over. The adjudicator who punched him snickered and the other one laughed, while their leader's face grew a sadistic grin. I could do this all night, Quincy. The night is indeed young yet, and I am a patient man. Where is the map? I don't know what... Oof! Another fist, this time from the second adjudicator. This one put Quincy on his knees. Bordeaux moved to react, but one of the adjudicators gestured towards their breast pocket, a reminder that they were indeed armed. The dark-skinned man paused, shot Quincy an uncertain look. See, this is why exploration has been tightly regulated. For too many generations, you explorers have thought of yourselves as gods. You've done as you wished since the medieval days. In my time as a scholar initiate, I've read tale after tale, consulted record after record of adventurers and their like, gallivanting across the known world. To think the sums of coin spent on funding your excursions would likely give the High Council of Lords a heart attack. The lead adjudicator paused. What's more, now foreigners think they can do the same. Punctuated that by glancing at Bordeaux, who was still focused on Quincy, who was still focused on trying to catch his breath and sort himself. That information was in the records too. Old city-states and kingdoms that were low on coin due to calamity or some such. That thought it wise to clear some of their own limited space for those adventurers to claim, in the hopes they would add to their military and economic development. Well, Quincy strained after some time. Did it work? This earned him a sharp kick to his ribs. I grow tired of that mouth. The adjudicator gestured to one of the men, who began to aggressively search Quincy's coat until he found a weathered piece of beige-white paper. He smirked and handed it to his boss. And I thought you said you didn't have this. Well, technically, I said I didn't know what you were talking about. After all, many maps exist, your lordship, even counterfeit and third-party ones. You could have been talking about any map. I didn't know you wanted that one. One of the two goons went to deliver another kick to Quincy's ribs, but the lead adjudicator stopped them. Enough, he barked. We have what we came for. Tipped his hat towards Quincy, still reeling somewhat from the assault. The archive thanks you for your cooperation, Quincy. Do take care. With that, the three men left the two explorers to their own devices. Bordeaux stood over his friend and muttered something, then his hands began to glow green. Low-tier arcana, cure wounds. Green cross symbols began to appear over Quincy before surrounding his body in matching light. It went away after a few seconds. Much appreciated, Bordeaux. Again, a friend upon which I can thoroughly rely. Quincy shakily got to his feet and dusted himself off. Now then, we've a crew to assemble and a ship to procure. Bordeaux blinked. To go where, you fool? You've no map. That's when Quincy grinned wickedly. I've not that particular map, he replied, but I do have this. He revealed another folded piece of weathered paper with a flick of his wrist. Opening it, revealed it to be the same map from earlier in the tavern. This would be the map the archive assaulted before, the one they think they have, but don't. Savvy? You mad fool! Bordeaux replied, putting a hand on his forehead in disbelief. You absolutely mad fool! How? A gentleman explorer never reveals his secrets. Now come, we've an expedition to plan for. Quincy began heading toward the home of an old friend. Bordeaux, while shaking his head, began to follow. Thank you for sticking to the end and listening to this epic fantasy story. Do not forget to click the link in the description to give some love to the author. Go and check out some of their other works. I know they would appreciate it. So if you have any stories you want to share, feel free to email me, DM me on Twitter, or any other social media. All my links are in the description. So until next time, collect those stories, because you never know when they'll be your saving grace.